Movistar, looking like they've been in through a rain shower already, but that's the beads. I'm not quite sure who designed that jersey, but they obviously had something left over from Come Dancing.
Endura.
Yeah.
The silicon.
I know, but it I'm going with beads. Astana here. There's Lotte Soudal's time, which is standing loud and proud at the moment. We've had some surprises today. Astana then still running in second place. By the way, Francis were up to third. They had an amended time, so Francis Lejeune stay on the podium, and they've beaten Astana. Unless Astana's time gets amended as well. We've had a few amendments today. So there you go. Movistar off the ramp. So at the moment it reads Lotte Soudal are leading 23.40, 9 seconds further back Team Sky, further 2 seconds back Francis Lejeune, then comes Katusha, who are there we are, finally. Francis Lejeune are in third place. Astana, look at who Francis Lejeune, Sky and Lotte Soudal have beaten. Unexpected frame this is, to say the very least. Sky down there, some shocks today.
No, there's some good performances. Astana coming up just a little bit short to go top three. First four to finish. You see Lars Boom just a little bit unhappy, former GC winner of this race. So he comes across the line, thumbs up, but I think he was there looking for a little bit more.
I think so. Here's Eric's Quickstep. You know, if this rain starts to tip, it's going to be a huge surprise. Lotte Soudal and Andre Greipel will have that sort of very wide grin of his. He's thin of lip and wide of mouth, but he's also a really nice bloke. Not that they shouldn't tally, but what I mean is he actually looks very aggressive on a bike. In fact, if you're a sprinter and you looked round and saw Andre Greipel with that sort of sharky look that he has, you'd be afraid. But honestly, when the helmet comes off, he's such a nice guy. He really is. Very fond of Andre Greipel. 5.5 minutes into the run for Ethics Quickstep. What more surprises can we expect today? What about Dimension Data? What went wrong for them, Brian? And don't say rain.
I don't know what went wrong. I think they would be really disappointed because they've lost over a minute already, and that's only in 21 kilometres, which is just, what, 12.5 miles or something like that. So I think they'll be really disappointed because it means that they had Edvard Boasson-Hagen, who was possibly looking. He's already won this race twice in its history, and he's getting looked after. He started at 8:41 seconds, and now he's lost a lot of time. So the general classification for Team Dimension Data seems to have lost a lot of time today.
Well, there we are. It's you've got some decent time trials. So I'm saying you were associated with the team when they were MTN Quebec, and indeed into the metamorphosis into Dimension Data. Tell you what, let's put that to one side for a moment and consider BMC. Now, this team are going for the world title. They've been there before. And so this means a lot to them because essentially it's a good piece of practice. It's also a bit of a marker that they'll be drawing on the road today to sort of say to everybody, listen, we're the daddies. And when it comes to team time trialing, and frankly, if they don't win it today, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, same here. Such a talent in time trialing. You can just see the pensive faces on all of them. They know what's coming. They know it's going to be painful. But at least they know it's going to be over in under 24 minutes.
Nice to see that Rowan Dennis has decided to keep it with an Antipodean lid. We're just waiting for the finish. Here come Cannondale Drapac, a team that used to time trial brilliantly. Well, guess what? They've kind of turned the clock back a bit. This is not going to be a bad finish time for them by their recent standards, I think it's fair to say.
No, good time here. Fourth rider will count, and they're again finishing with 7 riders, so it's going to be a very respectable time here by Cannondale Drapac.
Yeah, and indeed by their own standards, which they've set recently, which have not been brilliant, but times are pretty close, you know, towards the top, but good enough for 6th place and 13.41 seconds down. This is the team that everyone has been waiting for, BMC. There's still others to come after them. In fact, Lotto Jumbo and indeed Tinkoff, with Peter Sagan, our glorious leader. And the way he has taken the lead in this race has been glorious. He's sprinting, he's doing absolutely everything. He did a bit of mountain biking in the Olympics, got caught out by a puncture. Anyway, more on him later. Let's dwell on BMC and what a fighting force they are. And all right then, let's dwell on Cannondale. They went really off the boil from being one of the best team time trialling teams after the team merger, of course. Garmin, Cannondale, and the rest of it, their mojo again.
They have, and you know, when you merge teams and things, it doesn't always kind of work out for them. It takes time for some teams to gel. I was involved with the merger between NetApp and Endura, and it does take a little bit of time to get things organised. But you know, looking at Ethics, they're flying through these corners, gaps starting to appear at the back, and that's where you start to hurt the riders. We've kind of mentioned that already before. But they're, just to give you an indication on that BMC racing team, they're twice world champions, the current world champions, and you know, they've got 3 national champions on their team. Round Dennis, the Australian champion, Taylor Finney, the American champion, and Manuel Quinziato, the Italian champion. So it just shows you how strong that team is.
Certainly does. This will be a strong performance as well by Ethics Quickstep. Almost indecipherable southerly breeze, by the way.
I'll be in Germany because Tony Martin's at the front doing a monster turn.
Quite possibly. Just pulls off right now and says, Auf Wiedersehen, to the nose. 10 minutes in. No, I think they're already, are they already back out? Yeah, I think they're already back out. They've left Germany, so that's why he's off the front. So they're back into Belgium right now. It's almost indecipherable in this part of the world. No real borders to speak of. Let's dwell on Movistar then. The men with the beaded kit. Doesn't look pretty, as far as I'm concerned. Looks like it belongs in a ballroom. But it works, and it clearly works for them. So, nonetheless, put your visuals to one side, and here are Movistar. A team that enjoyed stellar success and, of course, the ultimate prize in the Vuelta.
Yep, and another hero's welcome for Nairo Quintana back in Colombia. But, you know, a very strong team here. They've got a national champion in their midst, Alex Dowsett, the British champion.
Isn't Nelson Oliveira
I was
well
just about to say Nelson Oliveira, the Portuguese champion, I think. I know he was there last year. So they've got, you know, a very strong team and equipped well with some Scottish attire.
What, the old green and black? The odd beads? There we are. Or are you talking silicon? I'm not sure. This is Lotto Jumbo then, with their rather waspish yellow and black. All right, bit of white. And about to come off the ramp in a few moments' time. They've also been going well. Groenewegen, of course, has had his fun, and he's nursing the points jersey, the red, on behalf of Peter Sagan, who, of course, can't wear 2 jerseys, so he'll be in the mostly white affair of the leader that goes off the ramp next. So this is our penultimate team. They're at 4-minute intervals during the team time trial, and Lotto Jumbo are away. And smoothly done, almost as if they had practiced the very ramp itself.
They're expected to go well here. They normally do a reasonably good team time trial, but they've been riding well this week. They're up there in the overall with Joos van Emden, so there's a lot of pressure on Lotto NL Jumbo to perform today.
Movistar, looking at them, absolutely solid. All of the gaps almost equidistant throughout the run, although the lead pair here just disengaging. If you find a bike length between you and the rider in front, then suddenly you're taking an awful lot more wind. I'm sure Dr. Hutch would tell us about the percentage impact on a windless day, that being the benchmark. But as you can see from the helicopter lens here, there's a little bit of moisture around as well. Will the riders find it, the late runners? That would really put the cat amongst the pigeons. How will Peter Sagan go later on? Not sure, to be honest, especially with Tinkoff pulling out of the World Team Time Trial competition. But Brian just enjoying a fizzy drink. The Ethics Quickstep boys. So apologies if you're wondering if there was a snake in the commentary position. It's 13 and a half minutes into their run, just coming up to now. Ethics Quickstep. It'll be a quick one. A little bit of technical part of the course. You have sleeping policemen and, of course, box hedging to deal with along the way. We'll keep an eye on this. We're going to take ourselves a commercial break, and then we'll be back with the resumption of hostilities here and see if anyone has got the mettle to take Lotto Soudal off the top spot. Well, at the moment they have a 23.40 and they lead Sky by 9. Back in a moment. Alpecin coming to the end of their run. Lotto Soudal's time loud and proud. There's only 4 riders left in the giant run. Degenkolb himself bringing his moustache to the line. And look at the time, it's close, but it's going to be second place for Giant Alpecin. There was a 9-second cushion that Lotto had over Team Sky, and a 23.44 for Giant. Lotto's time is looking better and better.
Good time, very good time by them. Kept to the overall in it as well with Tim Wellens. Tim Wellens starting the day at 39 seconds, so it's kept him in there with another shout of the title here at the Eneco Tour for the 3rd time.
Tinkoff are off and underway with Peter Sagan, the leader, not, we remind you, contesting the World Championship Team Time Trial event. So this will be the last time we see the boys from Tinkoff in team time trialing formation. Will they get close to Lotto Soudal? And the benchmark time at the moment is 23.40. Well, we've had some surprising runs. Francis Lejeune as well, just off for the podium now. Katusha also changing their the ratings, I think it's fair to say. The top 5 just for now. This is BMC, the team that clearly is out there to beat everybody. I guess it's going to be a question of margin unless the weather plays a part here. You can see the trees absolutely still, not a leaf moving, it seems. A vertical feather day, we like to call these. Drop a feather, it just goes straight down. There is Rowan Dennis, who led this race with such aplomb. He might be back in the leader's jersey at the end of this run, right?
I would think so. You know, predictions going that BMC win the team time trial and Rowan Dennis takes the leader's jersey. He just done a turn there. I'll give you an indication. There was 2 riders on their way back when he went to the front, so he's doing longer turns, and that's what you have to do. If you're a better time trialist, you do longer in the front. You don't go faster, you just do longer in the front at the same pace.
I think Rowan Dennis is a great bet for the individual time trial championship title at the Worlds.
What about Kirienka?
I think Vasil, but he's had a tumble. He was one of those caught behind the crash the other day that with Michael Matthews. He did look good though, didn't he, Kirienka? So yes, think about Kiri as well. He brought me great joy last year when he became world time trial champion. He's been off the boil since, but then again, may well be simply because he's been investing so much of his efforts for the team. And there lies the problem, Brian. You quite often, if you have got to be a close one nonetheless, 4th rider home will stop the clock. Gosh, there we are. I Am Cycling, hitting it and hard. Oh, 23.37, clock bounced back. Good work.
Yeah, very good time there, and they've really gone for it, and that actually kept Martin Elmiger in there. So there's a reason to ride, and they rode very well because they've got a rider that's right up there in the general classification. So I Am Cycling right at the top now. Lotto into second. 23.37. Well, I said they'd go well. You didn't believe me, did you? It can go either way because they're thinking about ending the season. The team's not going to be about. They've got other contracts. But the reason was Martin Elmiger, who they've ridden with for the last few years, is in the top 10, and that's a reason to ride. That's the motivation. Well, they've got every motivation as well by putting themselves in the shop window. A team. He is a big cat. And they've been hampered by crashes. Michael Matthews, I'm sure you saw, went down the other day and went down hard. In fact, caused other riders to crash in a big backup on a sprint day that never seems to hamper the likes of Peter Sagan. He's almost been magically in charge. In charge of this run, with the white helmet at the front, is Rowan Dennis. That's the key. That's the key to that one. He's just setting a tempo. He's the strongest rider, just setting a tempo, sitting not on the tri bars, just sitting on the brake levers, setting a nice tempo, which is allowing everybody to, I would say, have a little bit of a rest. Here's your real benchmark coming up right now with Essex Quickstep, and this is going to be a feast for them. They're not that deep in the 23-minute marker, as you can see.
They come through this little dip and up the rise, and they're going to stop this as out-and-out leaders here. Take a bow, boys. That was very good. They find almost 20 seconds on I Am Cycling, and I think that really redraws the line, doesn't it, for the big teams that are to come.
It certainly does. That was a fantastic time, and they really got their act together. 5 of them finishing here. Tony Martin was doing a lot of that. Sometimes when you get a strong rider like Tony Martin, you can kill a team, but he's done a very good job. He's done longer on the front, just like Rowan Dennis has been doing.
I think that was Marcel Kittel that was just showing himself around the corner there. 23.17. I Am Cycling 20 seconds adrift. Lotto Soudal now in third place, 23 seconds behind. So we ride on, and so do these boys. This is going to be the fascinating one, Brian. It's a big sort of reader for us ahead of Qatar.
The thing about it is it's experience, and they're riding so much experience in this team. When we're going up that 400-metre climb, Rowan Dennis just sat on the brake levers and rode a good enough tempo, and he's kept the whole team together pretty much. There's all 8 riders still in here with you know, after 16 and a half minutes. So you know, we've only got about how long to go? About less than 7 minutes to go now, and still all 8 of them are there.
Greg Van Avermaet significantly as well, Brian, with our Classics days still to come.
Yep, it keeps them in it. They've got so many options. If they take back some time now, when you consider the BMC, you see Kiddo very, very happy. Well spotted as he came round the last corner there. But you know, looking at the team of BMC, they have got plenty of options, courtesy of the time trial. When you consider Rowan Dennis at 7 seconds and Taylor Finney's at 23 seconds, Quincy Atto at 36 seconds, Greg Van Avermaet at 40 seconds. They could have still 4 riders in the top 10 after today.
They could, and so they might be thinking about wrapping absolutely everything up and giving it themselves as a present later on. As Groenewegen, who took the opening stage with such aplomb. Ever since then, everyone else has, well, drifted backwards, I think, in the wake of Peter Sagan, who's just been outstanding. We've got a couple of Classics days coming up, don't forget, on this race, which is a homologation, a bit of a mix, really, of all the great Classics. I'm looking forward to it. And in fact, we still have the Muur on the final day to deal with. How will Tinkoff go today? I'm not expecting this to be an outstanding run, but you never know. They are hyper-motivated. Sagan may well be lent on by absolutely all and sundry. He is an immensely popular figure, by the way, and when he became world champion, I don't think there was anyone that could deny him. Such a popular figure. Sagan is good for cycling, and all the peloton are good to Sagan. I'm not saying they do him any favours, they love to beat him, and in fact his eternal second place looked like going on and being a real monkey on his back, but he's thrown that off. And in fact he just it seems once the dam was burst, those stage wins and great performances just coming as almost as a tsunami of success.
Yeah, he's certainly a character of our sport, and you know, you love just to see him race. You know, when he won that stage, not yesterday, the day before, the way he threaded himself through. When he said it was like gods and, you know, Moses parting the sea, it just kind of happened, and it was in a blink of an eye. He went through gaps that to other people that were kind of backing off.
Movistar, and this is not going to beat Etik's quick steps time, but it may well have enough to push I Am Cycling just beyond that second place, which they occupy surprisingly so at the moment. So let's see. Etik's quick step time is there. I Am Cycling was a 23.37. It's going to be reasonably close, but I think Movistar are going to have just enough to take it. Oh, you never know. There we are. The clock tends to bounce back, and it does. 36.72. They move into second place, ahead of I Am Cycling by a narrow margin of less than a second. They put a lot into that.
They did, and they have to, because you know, they've got a rider up there in the general classification, Yasha Sutherland, who's sitting 5th overall, 21 seconds.
There we are, confirmation. I Am Cycling tumbled to 3rd. Movistar now 19 seconds adrift. It was 0.0. Actually, I'm not going to bother. There's a very slim margin between Movistar and I Am Cycling. Virtually nothing. But Etik's quick step loud and proud, really, the benchmark so far, and we expected that from the late runners. And do you know what? I'm going to be absolutely fascinated to see what Tinkoff deliver today, because this is their last major time trial as a team.
And they're all motivated to help this man at the back in the white, the leader. They don't want to relinquish that jersey. It's going to be tough today, but they're going to give it 100% because they get on well. Sagan compliments them every day that he wins, so I think they'll do a very reasonable ride.
Here, coming up to your next little climb, there's two of them, incidentally, within the run. We'll see how they cope. Well, it's starting to be the usual suspects at the top, with some surprises sort of peppering the top 5 at the moment. Notably, I Am Cycling and Lotto Soudal, although I Am Cycling have been showing great time trialling credentials of late. But with BMC still to come, and of course, just before them, Lotto Jumbo, and I expect a good time from them as well. Lotto Jumbo, not a bad time trialling unit either.
We're into the last kilometre of this effort now, and just look at the time, 21.5 minutes. So it does look as if they could actually be going under the 23-minute mark.
Well, let's see. You're right. 23:17, and we were eulogising about Ethics Quickstep, but we always knew that BMC were going to be the team to beat. Right, here is the 22s, and they're going to make their turn in a few moments' time. There is, in fact, the Flamme Rouge now that they're coming up to. So, yeah, we'll see how close they get to Ethics, well, how much they take out of Ethics Quickstep, because I presume that they will. Great team, this, and all solid and together. They've all come home.
Yeah, and it's just slightly downhill. Now, the only thing that's going to kind of slow them up now is the final corner. This is the deviation for the team cars behind, just coming up now. They've set themselves up for this final left-hand corner, and then they'll be into the finishing straight.
Here we go, then. Back into the sunshine in the within the earshot of the announcer. I don't think they're going to bust the 23 minutes, but they're going to beat Ethics Quickstep here. 4 will count, don't forget. They really are sprinting for it right now, and Rowan Dennis doesn't want any gaps, doesn't want to get caught behind one. Here we are then. BMC, world champions in waiting. They've certainly ridden like that. Terrific performance by them. And Dennis it is that stops the clock. There's the bounce, and a 23:11. They find 6.83, and they lead this team time trial. Now, the big question is the margin between Dennis, his team here, there he is in the white helmet, and of course Peter Sagan, who is still to finish. Well, we'll find out. Don't forget, Tinkoff went off last with Sagan. We'll have Lotto Jumbo coming in, and I imagine it'll be in around 4 minutes time. There we are, dispatched from it, Matteo Tozzato, and there's his team. Well, it didn't look like he was in too much of a hurry to get back in, but there you are. Only 4 have to finish, but one of them must be Sagan if he's going to have designs on the title here. That's how they stack up, Brian.
Yep, BMC only 6 seconds in front of Ethics, who were kind of head and shoulders above everybody else. Movistar, I Am Cycling, Lotto Soudal putting in some good performances, but I tell you what, Ethics done a really good performance. You've got to remember they started with 7 riders today without Tom Bonin, and only lost 6 seconds to the world champions, and they had 8 riders.
Well, Tinkoff last on course, so we're hoovering up after them. BMC have finished. Lotto Jumbo will be coming to the line in a couple of minutes' time. Great effort by BMC, but the real margin of concern is the gap between BMC and Tinkoff once we get to the line. And I mean, I'm doing a disservice, I think, quite possibly to some others here who are very well placed at the top of the rankings. However, I think it's fair to say that it's about Sagan and Dennis for the time being, but don't discount Dennis's teammates like Van Avermaet.
Just lost another rider there, number 15, and that's Gatto. So they're pushing on. They have to push on the time. They have to all Sagan has to finish on is 23.18. Anything outside of that, and he will lose that white jersey.
Greg Van Avermaet, by the way, starting today 40 seconds in arrears, so whatever he can find will help as we come to the Classics days where he may well thrive. Peter Sagan, of course, will be hunting for bonuses along the way with stage wins. There's 2 stages left of this race, so even a slack time today, and it looks like it'll be a decent one as we look at Lotto Jumbo at the moment, and Groenewegen, who remains hyper motivated and is still pushing on, as you can see. They're coming up to the 22-minute marker, and clearly some way behind BMC at the moment, but let's see where they finish. This little highway section, they've got 5 left. I'm glad we found out officially about the amendment to the rules, Brian, that it's 4th man home, because we were being caused some worriment.
Yes, you know, a quick couple of messages to the organisers and other, obviously the teams as well got that information, but it did say in the rule book that it would be in the 5th rider, and 5 riders here for Lotto NL Jumbo, one of them being the red jersey of Groenewegen, who won the first stage quite a few days ago now, but inside the last kilometre now for the Dutch team.
Good team as well. They lead the team competition here, by the way. And Groenewegen, absolutely superb out there on the opening day, as I'm sure you remember. It was a very messy affair. We are heading to Classics days, though, and I don't suspect that Groenewegen is going to drag himself up some of the inclines, but you never know. Meanwhile, here's Lotto Jumbo. Very good time by them, Brian, and this, just having a look actually, as I'm saying it, it may well be a bit of a stinger. There is I Am Cycling, their time is going to even beat these guys. Here we are, Lotto Jumbo then, clock rolls on them, and is it going to be 3rd or 4th place for them by the time the tallying is finished, and it is 3rd place with a 3:34. That was a struggle, wasn't it?
Just looking at Joos van Emden there, coming up to lead his team across the line. Joos van Emden sitting in 3rd place at 12 seconds, although that gap is already opened up to Rowan Dennis, because he was only 5 seconds behind. So with that deficit in the team time trial, isn't a lot. He's still in the top 10 and probably well up there.
Wilco Kelderman as well started the day 22 seconds down. I think he was still involved in at the end here.
So that is in the back of your mind as well, but this is also World Tour points. This is a World Tour race, and you know, every point is going to count. So everybody will be chasing what they can, and you know, this is a big race, good preparation race, and you know, you throw these guys all in together, and we can see from the sprints they're all, you know, bumping and barging and, you know, trying to get the best result.
There's the 22-minute marker. I'm actually wondering whether this is going to be a nasty one for Sagan. Finally, they start to shed personnel. Michael Volgren just having done his turn. There's no more slack left in this group. Anyone who gets tagged off, unfortunately, is going to be a bit of a lead weight time-wise to them. Basker just comes to the back here, struggles to just refine the pace this late into the run. Same for everybody, and then just hook onto the back of Masic Bodnar. Sagan himself comes to the front right now, and he double checks behind him, just has a look to see whether he's actually left anyone in his wake, but they're keeping up well, Brian. Flamme Rouge, they hit now. Well, there's no slack in this run, and Sagan's taking a long turn up front.
I don't think he's going to lose too much. It looks as if he could possibly losing 20, maybe 25 seconds. It's still a good time. The time of BMC was 23:11. We're shortly going to be passing that time, so he's not losing a great deal of time. 500
metres. I think he's going to be giving away a lot more than he potentially hoped for, but damage limitation. He did have a cushion, don't forget, of 7 seconds, so knocked that off the tally. But there's the final turn, and I'm afraid it's going to be half a minute and more down by the time they reach the line. Let's have a look. Sagan wrestling with it. Good team around him. A team that will disband at the end of the season. Sagan wanted this. He's going to hand over the jersey, but is he just loaning it? 23:45 to give away 34 seconds. Well, you're supposed to be empty by the time you hit the line, and they certainly look that way, except for Sagan. Still breathing just through his nose. He's a remarkable character.
Yep, but he's now 27 seconds down in round Ennis, so what to be done if he wants to try and win this race?
There is 2 wins with 2 bonuses. If Dennis keeps up, then it could be a hard task. They may well start to think about others around them as well. They've got plenty of cards to play. BMC then take it as expected ahead of Ethics Quickstep by 6 seconds. Lotto Jumbo third ahead of Movistar and I Am Cycling. Lotto Soudal going very well. Likewise, Giant Alpecin, Team Sky and Francis de Jure. Katusha rounding out the top 10 here. Sagan hands over the lead today. So, will it be temporary? Class is eternal, but there's BMC, and that's what it means to them, Brian. This is no small beef that we've dealt with here today. They wanted to just remind everyone how good they are at exactly this.
Yeah, they're the reigning world champions and they want to win. There's still pressure on everybody to deliver, and it only needs a small mistake, and you know, crashes and things happen. So they have delivered. They delivered by 6 seconds from a very good performance from Ethics Quickstep. It means that
went all the way through it. It's a tough task. We've seen others try it, but Sagan is a remarkable character. He may well start to eat into that lead that now is possessed by Rowan Dennis, a lead that was built on the team time trial performance today. And BMC, you've got to give them every credit. What a great run that was.
It's been a good performance throughout when you consider it. The time trial a couple of days ago set it up nicely for them. They'll have numbers in the top 10 and you know, looking like they are in complete control of the Eneco Tour.
Well, as the wind farm here waves its rotors at you, we'll be waving farewell in a few moments' time. Rowan Dennis leads ahead of his teammate Taylor Phinney. Tony Martin is 24 seconds down. Peter Sagan 27. Nicky Terpstra. You know, this is going to be a big punch-up. Greg van Avermaet, 8th at 33 seconds down. He'll be looking to do something as well over the next couple of days. Is always a joy. It's an amalgamation of the best of the spring classics, giving the Low Countries a little tour to play with. And it's for our enjoyment, particularly in the lead-up to the World Championships. Well, all credit to Lotto Jumbo, managing third place, beating Movistar, a very accomplished time trialing team. Credit where it's due as well to some of those further down the order, like Lotto Soudal, that many would not have considered. Indeed, they were the benchmark time for quite some time out there, Lotto Soudal. I Am Cycling as well, producing a stellar performance to finish a top 5. Jumbo finished third on the day. We're just rolling through the top 3 for you in reverse order. I think you'll see Ethics Quickstep on your screen in a few moments' time. BMC are the daddies. Ethics Quickstep looked very good, though. Accomplished, I think it's fair to say. And don't bet against them when it comes to the World Team Time Trial as well, because this is a suggestion that their form is actually intact.
Yep, well, they used to hold it, the title. They lost it the last couple of years to BMC. 6 seconds down. Okay, it's only 21 kilometres, but they'd love to have won this event, going into the World Championships, but 6 seconds down is a good performance, starting out with only 7 riders to BMC's 8.
Well, there were some great performances out there. Francis de Jure finished 16 seconds off the podium today. A team that were way down the pecking order as far as any predictions were concerned. And Ethics Quickstep then, second quickest on the day, and BMC finishing way up there. Marcel Kittel, he seems to have really found his place within Ethics Quickstep. Seems to be at peace with himself. Peaceful, though, is not good for a sprinter. You need to be very aggressive and active. I think his chances of winning a stage here have now ebbed. with the 2 classic days coming up, which we're looking forward to very much so, and particularly if the rain has an impact. Big impact today, of course, no surprise, by these boys. They went like comets, and indeed it was an outstanding run. Rowan Dennis wearing the white helmet here, just to sort of help us all pick him out. He's now swapping that for the white leader's jersey, and you can understand why when you see this performance. They really dug deep. In fact, Dennis himself almost overtook the 3 teammates that were starting to spread across the road. He almost crashed, as you can see, and indeed lunged for the line to set his own time, which was the marker. So we race on, Brian. It's going to be fun these next 2 days.
Oh, this is first time putting a team time trial into the Eneco Tour, and now we have 4 BMC in the top 10, 4 Etics